I now can point out somebody with the fucking it factor from fucking 10 miles away. I can smell them getting off the elevator, really, because I know power and I know a positive mindset and I know somebody with a good heart because I know myself to a T and real recognize real. Gang, gang, right? Gang, gang. So, which leads me to this beautiful man right here. And I remember when I met him, he had a lot of confidence. And so I expected him to be sort of very well liked. But even though he was well liked, I noticed that the business people that he was around, they were just feeding on him so fucking hard. First of all, my boyfriend is an Aquarius. So if you guys know anything about Aquarius people are one of the most different signs in the zodiac because we are literally so far out there. We are gone. Okay? Aquarius people do not live on this earth.
Like off our rocker?
Yes.
Gone?
Yes. Yep. Aquarius people are really just not here. And I think it's something that we should all be very proud of and very thankful and grateful for. But they're also some of the kindest, sweetest little cutie kins that you will ever meet in your fucking life. Aquarius want to love. They want to love. They want to connect. They're big humanitarians. They see other people shine. Aquariuses are great. So you guys are going to see my foot. So when I found my boyfriend, I saw this beautiful, amazing man. I saw this beautiful, amazing Aquarius with such a bright mind and such an open heart and such a full and whole and big heart. And yet when he got around people who were bigger than him, I don't know. I don't know if Ben was viewing them as bigger than him. That's what we're going to figure out today. I don't know if Ben was projecting that they were better than him because they had more money or something like that, and that's why they were treating him like that. All I know is that I'm a seer. I'm a fucking seer and I'm a fucking energy reader. And every single time I got around somebody and I saw the way they looked at my boyfriend and I saw the way that they treated him and I saw the way that they tried to fucking throw him like wherever the fuck they wanted to go, I swear to you, I was there sitting there looking that person dead in the fucking eyes. Dead in the eyes.
It's actually true.
Yep. I'm like, and Ben.
She's like a little chihuahua.
I will fuck you up, really, mentally.
Oh my god, that's so true.
The fuck away from him. And it pissed me off because he could not tell that he had the it factor yet. He could not tell that he had the it factor yet, but everybody else around him saw it. So what did they do? They led him in the direction that they wanted him to go. They told him the things that they knew he would listen to because he didn't know that he had the it factor yet. Mm-hmm. There are people, when I say find yourself before the devil finds you, I'm not fucking joking. I'm not joking. There are people out here who are also seers and don't exactly know it yet, and they will see somebody who has not found themselves yet, and they will decide their life for them. And that's what was happening with Ben. So now to get into the questions.
I'm taking notes.
Now my question is, did you have any feeling in like your deep sort of underlying core, maybe a whisper or just like some sort of feeling there that kept telling you these people are feeding on you? Did you have any idea that that was happening?
Yes.
So explain that to me.
So first of all, what's up, Dimitri? What's up, Kat? How you doing? Everybody on Instagram, how you guys doing? Thanks for joining. Yeah, so it's funny. I did have that thought to where first of all, there's some information that's lacking here. Hold on. These are my notes.
I gotta take a paper, baby.
Oh, okay. I'm like, hold up.
He said, wait a second, these are mine. Oh, he gave me unlined paper, you guys. That's what he gave me.
I get this.
Unlined. Okay, go ahead.
So first of all, I just wanted to, for anybody who's watching and doesn't know the history on how we met, I met Kyra at a 10X Growth Conference. And most of you guys know that Grant Cardone was my former mentor for several years. So I went to all the events. I sold some events and stuff like that. And I put on a 10X Business Bootcamp for him as well. So I was heavily involved. So I found her in the There we go. I had to make sure I see her. There we go. Bam. So yeah, I met Kyra at the 10X Growth Conference. So now that you guys know that, when I met you, I did have confidence, but it was confidence in my abilities, not confidence in my
Authenticity?
Yes, because I was doing what you asked. Actually, I was feeding into their image.
Yes.
So
you were confident in their image of you. Does that sound right or no?
Kind of. I guess so. Well, yeah, I guess that is true.
Right?
I was definitely confident in their image of me. I could tell that they seen something in me. Let's put it that way.
Yes. So they saw it in you. Okay.
I could tell they seen something in me. I could tell that they may even have been intimidated by me. Mm-hmm. I felt that energy. I don't think I'm better than anybody, by the way. I'm just telling you my thoughts and what I felt when I was in that organization. The reason for that is because even though I wasn't truly being fully myself, I was putting on. I was doing what I was being taught. I seen them building a facade and being inauthentic, so I did the same thing. And it was just a habit and a behavior and a characteristic that was not helping me that I adopted. So that's what happened. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk necessarily.
So you did know.
Yeah, Kat was saying it's nice to hear you talk about yourself, and you have a lot in common. So.
Me and Kat?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Hi, Kat. I saw some of your comments.
She said Aquariuses are the rarest.
We are.
She's Aquarius too,
We're
by the way.
Very, very rare. Yeah.
So me and her, like, we headbutt a lot.
Oh yeah, we do.
We either come together like really hard,
like peanut butter and jelly.
Like
oh my god, like Talladega
really
Nights. He said, "Man, we go together like fucking."
We either come together like peanut butter and jelly, or we just clash. But yeah, I was feeding him to their image, and it's quite ironic you have my back because, thinking about it now, I know why you were in it, but you were like, I was asking you this question after I had, transcended out of that and left, and I was like, why were you in it? Like, why were you in a cult, especially after already having experience with a cult? Why did you see me in it, and why did you stay? Like, why didn't you tell me, babe, I was in a cult like everybody else did?
I did.
I didn't hear it. That's crazy.
I know. He didn't hear shit at that time. He really was very...
Which to my point, I just made a post today. I said, when you're in a cult and you're being brainwashed, you do not know it while you're going through it.
You definitely don't, and he definitely didn't. I would tell him every day. The amount of prayers that I said for this man was fucking, like, ridiculous. Like, but I didn't tell you in the beginning when I met you because the type of ride or die that I am, and also the type of fearless that I am, is I was like, damn, if he's going to be in it and he's going to climb his way to the top, then I'm going to be in it and I'll climb my way to the top, except nobody's going to know that I'm actually in it to fucking spread love and spread seeds. I didn't care that I was there. I knew that I would always, because I found myself, I wasn't scared of that. I knew that if I stayed in that community that I would have changed things. So that's what I was going for.
I mean, not to like go on side trails, but like what made you think you were going to change things when you were outnumbered?
I wasn't outnumbered, and that's the thing. So when you know who you are and you pay attention to the right things in your life, then you pay attention to the right signals.
You tested it too. Remember the conversation? You got in a debate with somebody at the table.
I did, yes.
Joel Burr. Mm-hmm. You got in a debate with him, and like the whole fucking table wasn't vibing with you because they're all feeding off the same brainwash shit.
I know, I love it. However, that is just the very first conversation, and that's fine. But I was very... So the type of Aquarius that I am, and we'll get back to you, the type of Aquarius that I am, since Aquarius are already very free by nature, we're very free by nature. I'm also a life path number 5. My path is freedom. And there's also something else in my chart about freedom. I'm free as shit. And that's why a lot of people look at me crazy. So when I walk down the halls, my energy transforms people. It may take 30 times.
It's true.
It is. And so I know that, and I believe in that. So I believe in my presence in their community. And I did believe in my presence in their community. And I think that after a while, maybe I would have gotten empty just being around them all the time, and just making it my mission to infiltrate their thing and bring love. That definitely could have happened, but I definitely had no doubts that I would have been able to change a few things, even if it were on a minute level. And did you have something to say, or
No,
can I
no,
get
no.
back to you?
No, sorry. My brain just goes, and so I got questions, and
I love it.
it's authentic. Wait, we're making out live? Oh, fuck.
Okay, so I actually wanted to bring that up, and I wanted to explain. So if anybody else has been in this position, and I wanted to explain why the intimidation is. So first of all, I want to bring you on a journey, and I want to bring everybody here on a journey. So we already confirmed that you knew on a deeper level that you were being sort of taken advantage of. Like maybe
Yes.
something was off.
Oh, big time.
So you knew on a deeper level that something was off.
Yes.
And then this is how
I ignored it,
found
specifically.
myself. That's not the only thing you ignored. You ignored the fact that people were intimidated by you and some people weren't.
Yes.
So when you go to pay attention to those things in your life and you play a movie back in your mind of all of the times that you looked into somebody's eyes who was intimidated by you, you then begin reading each of that person's energy and you begin finding commonalities in their energy. And so you can tell when somebody is intimidated by you. And if you're wondering why they're intimidated by you, that can also tell you because you wind up studying their energy. So if you study their energy and you study their demeanor and you study yourself at the time, then you begin to find a pattern of when people give you a look as if they're intimidated by you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to explain that to you, that is something, that is one reason why you were brainwashed. Because you did not take real notice of why they were intimidated by you.
Yeah.
And that's why people lose themselves.
Yeah, well, I mean, quite simply, what we talk about quite a bit is I just didn't know myself fully. I didn't know, I guess, my own strengths. And not knowing my strengths, I couldn't really tell that when I interacted with those people in that cult or in life in general, I didn't know that they were either going to be intimidated and be repulsed by me or join and reciprocate with me. You know what I mean? I didn't know myself, so I couldn't recognize that really. And it's quite, when I say I don't know myself, that didn't mean like I was like a lost child floating around just looking to have my hand held and guided. Like, I really, when I explain it, I only had a little bit of like fear and doubt and uncertainty, and that's all it really took for a huge organization to take advantage of me like that. By the way, this is not me playing victim. This is not me not holding myself accountable. I think a lot of people get confused when I say I got taken advantage of or I was preyed on, my vulnerability was taken advantage of. That's not what I'm saying. I take accountability, but there's also another side to this. And that's what we're talking about, the other side.
So you noticed that people were intimidated by you. I'm following along on this journey with you. So I'm going through the steps in my mind that sort of are going to connect everything. So I want to relate it back to the it factor, because that's what we're doing on my page right now. And trying to think of another question that'll tie into this. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, that's all right. What's up, John? John Jacob Jinglo? Jingle? These guys will be shunned. I love that. You know, several people who will make over 7-figure profit in their business. None of them are part of one of these guru cults. They got asked to speak there though. which may mostly reject. Not quite sure what you meant by that, Dimitri.
I am ready when you have a moment.
Okay. And then just last thing, Lorraine, this is going to be a great year for you as for us as leaders transitioning. All right, so yeah, you were saying it's about being a professional and doing a good job. 100%. I agree with everything you guys are saying, and it sounds like you guys are tracking.
Okay. So, did you know that you had the it factor? Did you know that you were born with it?
When you say that, if you were to describe the it factor, this is like a term I've been hearing lately, so maybe you can help me describe to these people. What's up, Gabriel? What the it factor is.
The it factor is most likely somebody who was an outcast. They didn't fit into any group. Because somebody with the it factor is so up here that it's very challenging to connect with other people. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I will say here right now that there is a lot of thing going around like, oh, how to know if you're chosen by God. And it's not if you're chosen, everybody is chosen. There is not people who are born with better things than others. Like every single
like
person is chosen.
Like a messiah?
Technically, we're all messiahs.
Yeah. Well, some people claim they're a messiah
But technically, that's fine. If somebody says that they're a messiah, then let me hear what they have to say. Let me see how they make me feel, and I'll be the one to decide that. Just the same goes with prophecy. The same goes with soul guide. I'm a soul guide. You know, that's who I came here to be. So if people hear me talk, you know, and they connect with me, then that'll be up to them to decide. But the it factor itself as a gift, it's really just something you are born with it. And when you are born with it, it means that things go really easy for you. It means you don't really have to try much for things that you want to do because you just get it. It means that you're very loving. It means that you're very above the bullshit. It means that it doesn't really matter what you look like physically, but your insides make you so fucking attractive that you are the it person. When you walk into the room, everybody looks at you because you are it. You have it. You have something that is very rarely seen in people, and that is the it factor.
I would say, I think you asked me a question relative to that.
I said, did you know you had it?
I knew that there's something special about me. Yes,
You did?
I couldn't put my finger on it. Yeah.
You did?
Well,
when I met you, you knew that there was something special about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've done quite a bit before I met you, so I'm quite talented in different areas.
Okay, yeah.
You know, had a successful business going on, and I've just accomplished a lot. You know, I went through some fucking long valleys of adversity and came out of it and transitioned and turned those things into something positive. So yeah, I think after going through that, I really realized what I was made of. I put myself to the test through that stuff. So yeah, I knew I was special for sure.
So when you came into Grant Cardone's community, you knew that you already had something special to you. What's
crazy is, yes, I knew I was special, but I thought by getting involved with that type of community that everybody else had something special. And I was just coming into this elite group of 1%ers who all were doing something special. What I found out was most of those people in there have never even fucking done anything close to what I've done and accomplished. Quite ironically. Physically and just with my mind. And I realized it was actually a lot of it was a facade. I realized that after talking to a lot of people.
Did you feel stupid?
Yes. When I started, the more I started realizing that, I'm like,
I feel kind of silly.
And it's not like I thought I was better than people. It's not that at all. It's just like, I don't know. I've put myself through so much and just been through so many things that most people would just fucking crumble under, I feel like.
Amen.
And I started picking up on that, and the things they're talking about, I had a hard time relating with, because they were all talking about, oh yeah, done a mastermind, done a webinar with 200 people. I made $50,000 this month and all this shit like that. And like, I've had $50,000 months. Me and my sales rep did $100,000 in sales in a week one time. So technically I already been there. And I didn't make that. I didn't pocket that. That's what we sold in revenue. So I obviously made less than that. But I think that's what these people were saying. They were like making all these big claims. I don't know. I just realized it was a fucking image that they were putting on. And like, here I was trying to be as authentic as possible. And I realized that they were putting on a facade.
Like, you're like,
and then slowly I started coming into the facade world.
The facade, right? Fucking stupid
I was like,
shit.
oh, this
And
is
all
what
of a
it's
sudden-
about.
And all of a sudden, yeah, you start putting shit out there that is not
Yes.
what you're proud of. You're like, yeah, I just walked by Steve Aoki on the street. And you're like, why the fuck did I just say that? Like, all of a sudden you just start putting out fucking accomplishments that aren't even really accomplishments to you, but they're accomplishments to the other people.
Yeah.
So you wind up getting caught in a cycle where you're trying to impress the other person, but they're not impressed.
Yes.
When really they are, but they're not showing it. So you're caught up in this literal illusion.
That's crazy you said that, because it's exactly what happened. I'm like, oh, I come in authentic and I realize there's a facade here that everybody's adopted.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, I need to start playing the facade. And next thing you know, yes, I'm like, and then it's all about like...
it's all about manipulation.
condescending. Yeah, now that I started building a facade, I was like, bro, like, I don't care. I don't believe you. And all that shit. And it's just like, wait, I thought that's what we were doing. And I was confused.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's,
oh my God, I totally hear that.
And so that's when I started saying shit that really wasn't true. I'm an award-winning, international, fucking best-selling book author.
You did get crazy.
I'm a award-winning public speaker, and like, technically, it was weird shit that people do to create labels, right? Like, they would give us an award. And don't get me wrong, like, I love the dude who did this, but he might have been taught the wrong thing. But like, I put out my first book, and he gave us all an award at this book thing. You were there.
Yeah.
Now they taught us like, hey, now that you got an award, you can say you're an award-winning author. I'm like, yeah, I could. And I started doing that. And I thought in my head that gave me value. And it's like, it doesn't mean anything. It really...
I'm not really an award-winning... Like, people didn't read my book and was like, this is fucking amazing. You get a reward.
Even to this day, I've only sold like maybe 20 or 30 books. My first book. So I wouldn't qualify that as that being a award-winning author. So anyways, it's all facade is what we're talking about. And I came in authentic, seeing that everybody in the self-development space was putting on an image and lying and fabricating and creating this illusion. And so I was like, oh, that's what it's about. Maybe I'll start doing that. That's what it takes to be really, really successful and to be with the elites and be a multimillionaire and a billionaire and all that stuff. So I'm going to start doing that. So that's crazy thinking about that now.
So I want to talk about...
Cat, name dropping is such a turnoff. When I hear someone name drops, automatically disconnect. Dude, me too now. When people are like, yeah, you know, I know this person, I know that person, I did this with that person.
It's definitely a turn off.
Like, I don't fucking care, dude. These are just people. And yes, I could go on that path too. I've definitely been in some room with some I've talked with some people who are high profile, but it's not an interest to me to do that. And I know that people are just putting on, and it's all ego is what we're talking about here. And you can tell when somebody is like so ego based.
Well, I want to tie that into the it factor.
Yeah, let's bring it back to the it factor.
Because I think that people with the it factor are very above things like that. And it's not that they're above things like that to begin with, but I think that we as people born with the it factor are made, and this is for you guys too, we as people born with the it factor are made to be above it all. We are not made to think the same thoughts as a lot of humans do. And that's why a lot of people born with the it factor become confused, and they wind up turning to, I don't know, people who look shiny or they wind up turning to somebody else for guidance in their own mind. But if somebody with the it factor knew how to understand their mind, then things that get to people on a lower status don't get to the people who are born with the it factor. That is why when I went in and sold Grant Cardone a rug, I didn't sell it to him. Remember, he got it for free. But that's why he gave me attention while everybody else was squandering, and trying to get his attention like a little puppy.
That's literally the type of vibe too when you're in a room with him or any type of those.
But not me.
Self-development spaces.
But not me.
No, yeah,
I
you
didn't give one fuck.
you just cut through everybody. And
I walked on up. I said Grant, and he turned and he looked at me. Who the fuck is that saying my name with such strength? And he looked away. So I said, okay, that's fine. I'll wait. I said his name again, and I said Grant. And he turned, he looked at me, and I said, how would you like a rug that says I'm Grant motherfucking Cardone? He said, fuck yeah. I said, fuck yeah. And that was that. But the point is that people born with the it factor do not want to talk to people who are fucking cutting around the motherfucking fluff. Nobody wants the fucking fluff.
Can we talk about that really quick?
Yes, and I want to stay on this whole it factor mindset.
I want to point something out. To your point about being able to just walk right up to Grant Cardone out of a room full of couple hundred people glorifying him and fucking worshiping him and idolizing him. Grant has the it factor. Mm-hmm. So you can either use something like that for good or be very fucking dangerous and evil. And so that is why Scientology, not to turn this into Scientology bit, but it's important to talk about this. And I told you this was cult related, and you more so than you might have even thought, but that's why Scientology targeted Grant.
Oh, I know.
He had the fucking it factor.
I know.
That's why 10X targets people like me.
Yes.
Just like what you're talking about.
And that is why I know that I could have gotten to the top and been with his leaders, because I too have the it factor.
Yeah, and it could be used for good or bad.
I knew that in him from the moment that I met him. And you want to know why I was in his community? Because I saw him, I said, I'm going to save him. I'm so fucking serious.
Fuck, babe, he's so fucking brainwashed.
He's
Good
really
luck.
not. And the crazy thing about him is that he is brainwashed, but he's still in there, because when he looked at me, I saw him. And that's why Elena doesn't like me. Elena fucking hates my fucking guts, dude. So funny.
She's so fake.
But anyways. I love that they hate me, but come on, let's
Yeah, what's
let's
up?
continue on.
Yeah, Kat, send me whatever you're talking about, 100%. I'm going to take a peek at that.
So, the it factor, right? People who join cults have the it factor. People who join cults are born with the it factor, but they haven't found themselves yet, which is why they try and connect in these groups that sort of fulfill the void inside of them that they haven't found for themselves yet. So,
yeah.
With...
I got to call out Johnny Cash, though. What's up, Johnny? Johnny has the it factor. Unfortunately, he's still brainwashed, in my opinion, with Grant. He's a former 10X business
I wonder who it is.
coach.
Wonder if I know him.
No, you don't know him.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I met him before. I feel like I know who it is.
I don't think you did. No, right. I don't think you did. But I could always show you later. Yeah. But I noticed that he joined the live. Really good guy. He has the it factor. Unfortunately, in my opinion, he's been targeted by the 10X community because of that reason. So
Grant Cardone's space being a vortex for people built with the it factor who haven't found themselves yet, and coming into your experience in there, can you tell me, I want to know a little bit more about the things that you noticed about yourself that you kind of swept under the rug, that you kind of swept under the bus. What are some other things that you noticed that a voice in your head said, oh, it's nothing? What else did you notice about yourself?
Some of the things I noticed by myself is some of the things that I tell other people to pay attention to, and that is I had a really hard time saying no to any fucking offer. because
you notice that about yourself inside of the community.
Yes, saying no to people trying to sell me shit or offer me shit that wasn't in my best interest.
Did you think... I have to cut you off because the questions come in and the clearer questions come in, and this is going to give much better content for them. Fuck! Where did it go? Stupid! You're not laughing. And
sorry,
now they're going to think that I'm crazy. We joke around like that. We joke around that if we say, like, we forget something and we're like, stupid! Stupid!
Sorry, I was reading that, so I missed that, yeah.
And I'm fucking laughing my ass off, and you're just like... But, okay, so shit. What I wanted to know, you said that you started noticing that it was a hard time for you to say no. Did you feel like if you said no, that they would like you less, or you were less...
Part of it. There's many reasons.
So go down the reasons why you couldn't say no to these people.
Well, it's funny because I was just reading the comment I was reading that Dimitri put up there talking about how he's seen Francis. He's talking about Francis, where Francis was there talking about he got a loan and he fucking slept in his car. That guy.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, to be in the room. Mm-hmm. That's the length people will go through just to not say no and to feel like they fit in. That's another reason.
Because it factor, I told you in the beginning, you said, what makes somebody an it factor? You remember?
No.
I said they didn't fit in. They don't fit into any group. It factors do not fit
That's true.
to any group. It doesn't matter where they try and get cozy and settle in. They're going to wake up and be like, I don't fit in here.
Right, but the problem is, even though the it factor people don't fit in, biologically, every human being likes to fit in with some community.
Yeah.
So we still struggle with that.
But that's why I'm saying somebody, you or somebody with the it factor, because they don't fit in, they go seeking for a place to fit in. And because they haven't found themselves yet, because you didn't find yourself yet, and you knew your own worth, and you knew where to go, and you had your own direction, you sought somebody else to decide your life for you, and guess what? They fucking did.
Yeah.
That's why the it factor, that's why it's so important, why we're talking about people with the it factor, because yes, it's a biological need to fit in, and people born with the it factor who aren't knowing that they're born with the it factor, who are feeling this biological need to want to fit in somewhere, they wind up throwing themselves in every single fucking direction.
Yeah. By the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with the community. I don't think there is. It's just making sure it's the right community, ethical community. I mean, if we had a community of it factor people, right? We all understand.
My kind of fucking people.
What I'm saying is there's a lot of misconceptions and people thinking that, me calling certain things out or you talking about something certain, maybe it means like we're shunning this or we're talking shit about fitting in community. Fitting in is a biological attraction. And so what you're attracted to is what you got to pay attention to. Like, and knowing yourself is going to help that. If you're, you don't know yourself.
That's something great, you guys.
Yeah. If you don't know yourself,
you need to pay attention to what you're attracted to.
Yes. Cause you're going to be attracted to all the fucking things you said earlier, the shiny object, the carrot dangling, the glitz,
but also
the glam.
Abuse.
Yeah.
Also abuse. You can be attracted to abuse, and that's fine. You just have to, oh shit, I am attracted to this person who is not treating me well. Why am I attracted to this?
Yeah.
What part of me, and that's when you begin questioning yourself. But I think that things move so fast in these communities, and there's so much hype, that the person with the it factor not only does not find themselves going into this group, number one. Number two, they still don't feel like they fit in. It's because you got the it factor. You don't fit anywhere. You are your own person. Yeah,
well, especially if you... So I'm going to throw you a curveball. If you don't know yourself, and then you go into a community like I did, where you still don't fit in... Now you're just like, you put yourself even in a worse situation.
A worse situation.
Because now you're trying to fit in with something that doesn't align with you on a deep down level.
On a deep ass level.
Which is where the facade comes in.
Yes.
You're like, shit, the only way I can fit in here is if I put on a fucking facade too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
It's sad because the soul becomes sad. I think that the soul is shocked. Let me ask you this. The very first sort of hours that you spent with Grant Cardone's material,
I've never spent an hour with him.
I said
well,
material,
in a room.
Material.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Excuse me. With his material, was there ever? Could you ever hear or feel your soul withering? I'm very curious.
No. So the very first material I absorbed was the 10X Rule audiobook.
But in that time, did your soul ever get scared? Did you ever feel like a scared feeling when you were listening to his material?
So what happened was I had already a little bit of fear because it was during the pandemic. And so all businesses and business owners particularly had a little bit of fear because we couldn't fucking make any money, or it was at least a lot harder, especially if you're, like me who did in-home presentations. It was really difficult to do that.
But
so when I heard the book, it put me in fear because of the things he was saying, which is part of that brainwashing tactics, the NLP I was talking about in several of my videos.
I teach neuro-linguistic programming, by the way. Not in a bad way.
Which could be used for good or bad. Again, anything good can be used for bad. And if it's something really good, it's fucking twice as bad if it's used for evil.
Amen.
But he would say things on there like, you're not living your full potential. You're coming up short. You're not, success is your duty and you're not achieving that. You're not committing first, figuring out the rest later. So all those things put more fear in me. Like, oh, fuck, I'm leaving so much on the table. And again,
did your it factor ever speak up during this time? When you started to feed into that and you were like, fuck, I'm leaving so much on the table.
No.
Did your it factor ever speak in the back of your mind?
Yeah, but it played against me, unfortunately.
Well, what did it say?
Well, I was thinking like, oh, he's also an it factor guy. So I thought he's my type of people to latch onto.
So that's what I thought too.
So you
see the journey that we're going on, everybody?
So him being vulnerable, or a facade of vulnerability, attracted me. And then him talking about all these miraculous things he did made me think, oh, he's an it factor guy too. He gets it. He gets me.
Ugh.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Where I'm living
what I thought.
Yeah, and I'm living in a world with people who didn't get me.
Yes, and that is why it is so alluring. But what's interesting is that I think that when you see something like this, is you see soul to soul. And I think that you saw his it factor and he sees yours. Except there is a difference between dream world and reality. There is a difference between essence and reality. So what I teach you guys is how to call the soul home to the body and create a soul designed future. That's what my company is called. So with that, you met and I met Grant soul to soul because I still see Grant. I still see him fully. He's really an adorable, true, adorable little fluffy, cute, little angel boy. Okay?
Yeah, deep down before he got deceived.
However, you got this. However, this is what happens throughout life. And for it factor people who do not find themselves, this is the light that Grant Cardone has, and I'll show you guys. This is the light that Grant Cardone has, hun, and this is what you met him. You saw that. Guess what? You have the it factor because you can see through it all and find his depth.
Mm-hmm.
But the only problem is, like I just said, there's a difference between essence and reality. So let's take me, for instance. You know how I have anger issues. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how much light you see inside of me. It doesn't matter how much it factor, whatever it is you see inside of me. If I have too many fucking layers and my reality does not match up, then it's going to be very confusing for somebody in that relationship. Because even though we're seeing soul to soul, the reality and the things that we see with our two eyes and not our third eye is not what we see on the inside.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So, this is Grant.
Sorry, that cracked me up. You're like, this is Grant. It's just a dot with a bunch of circles.
He's got this light. He's got this light, but guess what happens when you step into his community? You're very confused because you're hit with a reality that does not match the essence.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'm following you.
Okay. So that makes sense. So,
Well,
when
it's essentially the facade we're talking about too.
Yeah, and it can be stated or labeled in different ways.
Yeah.
For people to understand it different.
What you're experiencing is not what is real, essentially.
20%. Yes. So what you're experiencing is actually, well, it's not that it's not real. It's real because it's here and we can touch it and we can feel it, except it's a very, very fucked up reality. It's pretty much like somebody who finds themselves and then doesn't know what to do with how they found themselves, so they wind up creating a shitty reality.
Yeah.
Like, it's so interesting, and that's why I was asking, were you scared listening to his material? Because when I stepped into the cult in Las Vegas, the spiritual cult, my soul would scream. I'm not even fucking joking. My soul was screaming at the top of its fucking lungs. Like, ah! Like, get me the fuck out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. And my soul would say that on a daily fucking basis. Like, beg me to get the fuck out of there. And I didn't. I was like, my human... So I want to ask you similar questions like this because my light wanted to leave, but my human was like, let's see what's in this. Let's see what's here in this cult. So I was attracted to the reality of shit, even though the soul wanted something else. So when I asked you if you were scared, were there any moments where you felt something similar to what I just explained to you? Were there any moments where you felt like you had lost your soul, where your soul was asking you to do something and you were not?
I definitely hear what you're saying, and yes.
Okay.
I was going against that the entire time.
What did it sound
like? But I
like?
just buried it deeper and deeper.
Yes! You get buried.
So
you bury yourself alive.
I just kept ignoring that feeling. And to further explain that, I would justify that with sayings that were in this facade that with this particular organization, the 10X community, that they always use, like, hey, we're, average people ain't gonna understand, like
yes.
All these sayings like that. Haters are gonna hate. Simple sayings that those sayings are actually just to distance you from your true self.
Yes, because the minute that you have a doubt in your mind, all of a sudden, what they taught you comes floating into your mind.
Yeah.
So if you say, oh, I don't really like them, then all of a sudden there's feelings and thoughts that come in saying, oh, that's because I don't have enough money. I'm a loser. Fuck, I'm average. Am I really average? Like, I'm a hater. I'm on the outside. I'm not on the inside. And somebody who's fucking hungry and somebody who is dying to be seen, somebody who's dying to connect with other people and see other people, like, you can easily mess with somebody's mind like that.
Mm-hmm. It definitely works. I see it happen I've seen it happen with me, and I saw it happen with hundreds of people, thousands probably, combined when you think about all the events I went to.
If you could explain where your soul was during the 3 years, like, even though you were born with an it factor, something that stood out and shined out among many people, and you sort of knew this on a deeper level, and you were in his cult, what was that question that I asked?
I don't know.
Fuck. I hate when I do that. My mind just runs at so many miles a minute. Hold on, because don't say anything to anybody because that distracts me. Hold on, because I just had it. It was like when you come into... That's what it was. Where was your soul? Where the fuck was your soul? Was your soul in jail? Was your soul scared and cold? Was your soul completely gone? Like, did your soul, because...
My soul was there, but suppressed.
So your soul was there, but suppressed.
Covered with a facade.
My soul was there.
It would try to break out, and the facade would just fucking beat it back down. Like, stay back where you are.
And who was that soul trying to come up?
It's my true self.
And what was that? What was trying to come up that something else wasn't letting it come up?
I mean, quite simply put...
Was it letting go trying to come up? Was it focus trying to come up?
It was just like, this isn't the right decision, usually. It's usually like, this isn't the right decision. Meeting up with this person, doing business with this person, buying this course, going to this event was not the right solution. And so...
And when that would come
up... When that would come up, the facade would be like, no.
Get your ass back down there.
Yeah, there's no growth and comfort. All these stupid sayings I said would just slap it back down.
Oh,
to justify it.
That is so sad. Can we just take a moment for your soul? Because that is so fucking sad.
I mean, it is sad, but the beautiful thing is I'm not there anymore. What's even more sad is that there's so many people right now living this life.
We're going to have the moment.
We're going to have a moment?
We're going to have a moment for your soul. Yes.
Okay. Namaste.
I'm glad you're home.
Hey, me too. By the way, I think it was John, or I don't know if it was John or Dimitri, I can't see now, but he was saying the it factor equals unstoppable.
Hello, nice to meet you. Yes.
Oh, and so that could be another thing too.
Oh, Dexter, nice to see you.
What Kat was saying, that at 10X, if you have a different opinion, this goes for all cults, by the way, not just 10X. If you have a different opinion or disagree with somebody or ask the wrong questions, you are attacked, shamed, and silenced. In her case, removed and or trespass, no freedom of speech. So the same thing is almost like the facade was that. My own facade would attack my own spirit trying to break free.
Yes.
And it's like trying to shame my true self, trying to belittle my true self, trying to justify all that stuff. And yeah, 100%. You see it all the time. I see it all the time too. And that's why I was just saying it's really sad that a lot of people are going through it. I'm blessed that I'm not in that position anymore and that you're not also.
Thank you. Me too.
But that's crazy, huh? It's like you join these communities with authenticity. They have a facade. You step up into this facade. You create the facade. And then the facade that you've created
beats your ass.
Beats your fucking soul to the ground.
I love that.
It's a whole process.
No, it really is. So it's very interesting. And that's what I found out when I got out of the cult, in the spiritual cult in Las Vegas. I had realized that they had successfully taken my mind. So that's why I became a mind coach. I used to call myself a mind coach. And I eventually switched into soul guide. And now I work with gullible it girls. It women and it men. Because I know these people to a T. Because I'm an it person and I know myself, that I know how to help these people. But going back to, what the hell were we just talking about? Because it was really important.
I was talking about how you build a facade.
Yes.
Or you come in. Okay.
And that's how I had realized that they had successfully taken my mind. Because there was nowhere safe. I was nowhere safe. I could go in my closet at home and hide myself in a ball, but guess what? They were still there. And once somebody gets inside of your mind, they know that they have control of you, because no matter where you go, no matter where you try and hide, you cannot hide from yourself. And you let these people inside of your mind. So when you go to sit there and you try and think a thought, an original thought, you can't. Because like you said, there are so many voices that have been planted there that they planted in your mind that your own original thought cannot come up. So you have to practice over time. You have to cancel the thoughts. You have to literally say in your mind, cancel, 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 and cancel their thoughts. And this is how neural plasticity works. This is how your neural patterns work. I was only in the cult for about 6 months. But the PTSD lasted 6 years? Sorry. Got a little emotional there. But yeah, the PTSD lasted 6 years. Why? Because it takes a minute to destroy something, and it takes fucking years to build it.
Yeah.
So when you enter a cult, or you enter a fucked up friendship, or you enter a fucked up relationship, that person can get inside of your mind very quickly. And the amount of time that it takes you to build back your mind after they've gotten inside is very fucking challenging. It takes focus. It takes, oh my God, it takes practically every single thing that you have inside of your body to reprogram your mind. So turning back into that then, do you think that you had developed some it factor? Like, do you think that you knew some of your it factor before you joined Grant Cardone? And then did your it factor get diminished, do you think?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Excuse me.
So yes, it got diminished, but yes, I also knew I had an it factor.
Yeah, I remember that.
I knew I had an it factor once I made my first massive change as a kid. So, going from literally being a wannabe gang member, doing drugs, very young. I'm talking like from 8 or 9 to about
That is so fucking
13
sad.
years old, going hard at that, in and out of juvenile detention. Actually, it was to 14. So for like 4 or 5 years, I was doing this. And I didn't hold back. Like talk about building a facade. I couldn't fit in with anybody. And so to fit in, I had to
You did the drugs?
I had to do crazy shit. I fed on that. Like, oh, fuck, Ben's crazy. Ben's crazy, dude. You hear about that? Like, Ben's fucking crazy, dude.
Dude, it's funny because I was the exact same way. So I find that so funny about our childhoods.
Yeah.
I was crazy Kyra.
Yeah. Getting in fights, fucking doing flips off of a bridge into the river, just shit like that without even thinking about it. Throwing rocks at a fucking school bus. Stupid shit that would end up getting me in juvenile detention. So I did that. Next thing you know, the big thing that happened was I got caught with some weed in high school my freshman year. Ended up going to juvenile for 2 months, and then straight from there went to an inpatient drug treatment facility for 2 months. And then
What age?
14.
That's fucking crazy.
And then I went and stayed at my sister's in Olympia for a month before I came back. So I was gone for 6 months. I was gone from home for 6 months. Came back and couldn't figure out what I was going to do, and went and lived with my sister in California. And that's when I made the decision, like, I'm going to change. Like, I don't want to be known for that. I don't want to be that person anymore. And so that was the big, I guess after doing that, I realized I had the it factor, because that was actually a huge accomplishment for me.
So what was that realization then? How did that realization come about? Obviously, it didn't come out and be like, I have the it factor. Like what?
The acknowledgement from people. Like, dang, dude, you've changed. Like, they knew me as this fucking hellion.
So are you saying that when you looked into their eyes, you noticed the astonishment?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
That is how you find yourself. That's how you find yourself. Just letting you know.
Yeah. And it wasn't that I needed that acknowledgement. It's just that I knew I made the change. But their reciprocation.
When you witness something, bro.
Yeah.
If you witness somebody looking at you and marveling at you, you witness that. You can't fucking deny it. Somebody marveled at you. And that is fucking beautiful.
well, everybody that I used to associate with marveled with me. And then everybody that I used to associate with who didn't change, especially, would be like, dang, bro, like, you've changed. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not down with that anymore, dude. I'm not doing that shit anymore. And they're just like, what the fuck? Why not? And so it was that was like the big moment in my life where I realized, like, I have it in me to make a massive change and be like who I really want to be and who I really am, really. So yes, when I was 15 and 16 is when that happened, and I realized that I was pretty special to be able to just completely 180 my life from that. I thought, when I was going through that, I was either going to be in jail or dead, to be honest. I was like, this is the life path of someone who's going to die or be in prison the rest of their life. It was just a matter of time. And so it was just a decision I made. And then that's when I knew. And then other things came along, work, opportunities. I would say the second time was being a carpenter when I was
that you kind of thought about the it factor?
No, that I knew I had it. It was what your question was.
So what, had it gone dormant for years? Like you had a realization and then it kind of stirred and grew?
Yeah.
And then
it did go dormant, yeah.
And then it came up again?
Yeah.
How many years later?
I was 24.
So what, 14 from 24?
Yeah, about a good decade, I would say.
It's about 10 years it lied dormant.
Yeah.
You had the realization, but it lied dormant.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting and fun.
Yeah.
Isn't this fun, you guys?
So, but yeah, when I decided to, when I became a carpenter and I started building glass glazed sunrooms for 10 years, or about 9.5 years, I joined the company, very small company. It was just 2 employees. The guy who I was working with trained me. Then he quit a year later, so it just was me. And then they hired on an old man that was 30 years older than me. Or not 30 years old. I don't know how much older. A lot older.
Is that
Larry?
The old man that is a part of your story? Like
the
trigger moment? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was just me and him for the next 8 plus 9 years. But during that time, I was essentially like a lead, and then obviously he had more experience, but at some point, his condescending attitude diminished because he realized I had the it factor.
You were real.
He realized I had it. Yeah. So he started letting me. He didn't take any advice from me at all. Mm-hmm. No suggestions. He wasn't open to hearing anything I fucking said. And then a couple years of working with him, he finally realized, like, oh, okay, you actually got some good ideas and shit like that. And so there was a lot of times where he just let me lead. He's just like, I'm tired, I'm old, you know what you're doing. You're smart, do it. And so I realized during that experience that I had a lot more in me too. And then obviously when I quit that job, I started my own businesses, and it just came more apparent that I'm like, I have something different here.
So it was really something that grew over the years, and you would say that awareness had something to do with that, being aware of it. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's fun. All right, let me sit and think for a second to see where I want to take this. Actually, I was curious I know that a lot of people who are born with the it factor have trouble expressing the it factor because a lot of other people take it as arrogance. I'm pretty sure you've even gotten mad at me for my it factor when you were in the cult. But that was when you were in the cult, clearly.
Right? I'm like, why don't you come join the facade with us?
Yeah, right? Like, no fucking thanks.
Dude, she used to have straight up panic attacks. During like 10x growth conferences and like those big events where just thousands of people are all putting on a fucking show and not being real and disingenuous, like she would have panic attacks and I would have to go find her or go off to the side with her and
he would be upset
and comfort her. I honestly was kind of a dickhead, to be honest.
It was so mean. He was like, I'm trying to network here, we never get to do this, and you're having a panic attack. And I'm like, babe, I'm fucking dying. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, please help me. I need help.
Yeah. And I never understood that because obviously, like I said earlier, when people are in a cult, they don't know it while they're in it.
He definitely didn't know.
I was too busy like, what the fuck is your problem? I'm trying to be fake here. Can we just all be fake together?
What the fuck is this bitch's problem? My God.
But looking back on that now, I 100% know why you were going through that, because once I had my spiritual awakening, which eventually led to me making the decision of leaving Grant's organization, I started having those type of moments. I didn't have full-on panic attacks, but I could, you know, if we're talking about spirituality, I could feel energy big time.
Oh my God, it's almost like
in
you
a
were
room.
having a separation.
Yeah. So
you know Venom?
Yeah.
It's almost like the venom was coming off of you.
Yeah.
But the venom was fighting back really hard to stay. And I think
Yeah.
that's what panic attack is.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But
so you didn't have a panic attack, but
no, but it took a lot of energy to fucking
control
that
mind.
outside fucking energy that I was feeling in
Wow.
other people. It was almost like a
Wait, no. We're not talking about that. Are you talking about having a panic attack after you woke up?
Yes. I wouldn't have a panic attack, but because I feel like
because it was a lot for you to handle. But we're talking about me having a panic attack because of negative, manipulative, dark, empty, hopeless energy.
Yeah, I felt all that in people.
Yes.
Just in the bank.
So you're saying
in the outside
okay.
world.
Yep.
I would step into a room and feel all the same shit you were feeling.
Yep. I remember when that happened. That's when I cried in church.
Yeah.
When I don't know if you remember me telling you that, but once I woke up, I went to church. I came home and I went to church with my mom, and I fucking literally could not stop myself. I started crying my eyes out. My mom thought I was crying because, like, the word. I was crying because I was so sad to feel the emptiness. Now it's so normal to me.
Yeah.
And you've got normal. You've been able to control it and stuff.
100%, yeah. Well, because I could realize, I mean, I don't know if you realized what was going on during those panic attacks, but...
Oh, I knew what was going on because remember, I studied this stuff before you.
Right.
So I knew what was going on, but I couldn't tell you because you didn't understand me. I couldn't be like, yo, this is the emptiest, darkest, driest, fucking dry lands I have ever fucking been in my fucking life, okay? And I need you to get your fucking brainwashed ass over here, snap the fuck out of it, and hug me. Like, I could not...
I understood it pretty quick. Once I came into once I crossed over, if you will, I was like, oh wow, I can feel like energy.
And you can read people very, very well now.
And I was reading things very well. Yeah, I don't even have to fucking make eye contact.
You don't even have to. Nope, you feel it.
You
could be sitting here and all of a sudden it's like a spidey sense and it comes in. And then have you ever had this happen to you? And then you turn around and look at the energy that you feel and that person is looking directly at you?
Yes.
I love when that happens. I'm like, hi, I see you.
So I would have, going back to what I said, I understood after I went through that experience of like being able to pick up on people's energy, just unwillingly, even just by default,
very unwillingly.
I'm like, holy shit,
now.
This is what Kyra was going through, and like if I didn't know what I was going through, maybe I might have been put in a panic attack. And not to say that you didn't. Obviously, you did know what was going on, but if I didn't know, that's probably what would have sent me into a panic attack or something, maybe.
It's rare.
I don't know.
Think you're much of the type of person to have a panic attack. Like, I think that the way that you handled getting out of a cult and the way that I handled getting out of a cult was very different.
Oh, okay.
When I got out of the cult, I deleted all pictures. I deleted, you know that. I don't have any pictures from my old life.
Well, I did something similar.
What do I look like when I was 16 on drugs? I don't fucking know because I have 0 pictures. I deleted my Snapchat, my Facebook, my Instagram, everything. And I got off social media and I didn't talk to anybody for an entire year because all I did was dissect the time in the cult. So that's all I fucking did. And I was like, why the fuck was I so manipulated? Why the fuck did I fucking start dating a 50-year-old fucking leader? Why did I let that man inside of me? Why did I join a cuddle puddle when I didn't want to?
A cuddle puddle.
Fucking weird ass cuddle puddle, dude. I'm gonna be putting some content out on that for the next coming weeks, so y'all can come to my page and see what that's like. But I handled it completely different than you, and I also suffered bad panic attacks while I was on drugs. So I think that the way that both of our experiences went through like it factor vibes, like me, somebody with the it factor, and being so drawn so far away from who I am and who God made me to be, that gave me huge panic attacks, but I didn't know it at the time. Like, one panic attack I had, and we'll switch it back, but one panic attack I had, I went to a bar with my friends, and I was 20. Oh, shit. That sucks.
Oh, I won't be able to post that either. That's sad.
That's really fucked up.
Let me get over here.
Shit, my phone's about to die.
Oh, you're good.
I'm good.
We do gotta wrap it up, because...
Yeah, I think that we've been sitting here for a while.
Yeah.
But pretty much...
Oh, that's sad.
This was the saddest thing, and we can maybe I'll talk about this, but I didn't really know. I knew that I was upset. I'm sorry to embarrass you, but I just got done having an orgy, okay, with some people.
What the fuck?
And sorry, babe, I love you so much. And I was so lost. I was on so many drugs. I was far away from home with no money and with people that I didn't know that well. So I remember in that car, in that moment, the panic attack came on so strong that a voice came in my mind and it said, you have to lay on the ground naked and wait for God to take you up, and he's going to take you up. That's how fucking crazy I was. So I got out of that car on a popular strip in fucking Orlando at a bar that was packed with hundreds of people. I got out of the car, I took off all my clothes, and I laid on the floor like a starfish. And I waited for God to take me. And people came out and they were like, dude, what are you doing? Get up, are you okay? And I just sat there. just waited for God to take me. I wound up being taken to the hospital. But that was one of the biggest panic attacks that I had. One of the biggest. But I didn't know what I was feeling at all. I had no fucking idea what I was feeling. I just knew that somebody told me to get on the floor, lay down naked, and fucking give myself to God. That's all I knew. But the panic attacks when I was in Grant Cardone's space were... I knew on a very deep level what I was feeling, and I knew... And I tried to control it as best as I could, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. And I think that when it comes to those panic attacks, and when it comes to me having those panic attacks and you handling it completely different, I think that's so interesting.
Yeah. So Kat was asking, how can she reach you for soul guidance? Let her know if you're available. She has chronic PTSD from her experience. She feels that I'm sorry. She feels you on this.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. You can follow me on Soul Designed Future Corp, and I'm right there. I think I sent you a message because I don't know. I might have, but I also might not have. Because Ben talks about you sometimes. So
I'll have her reach out to you, Kat. I'll give her your number.
Yeah, but as far as PTSD goes, I'm letting you know I suffered from it for like 6 fucking years. I suffered from it for a long, long time. And if I can say anything, probably the main thing that helped me get past it was talking to my therapist about it. I had to talk to her about what I experienced in order for me to get over it, because I hadn't talked to anybody. So if you haven't talked to anybody, then I would say talk about it. But you can still reach out to me, of course. But so when you say you felt a panic attack coming along, I love this, and I feel like we have to do a part 2. Because this isn't over. Because what I like about the it factor is it pretty much takes you from that dot, and the way to reverse all of this is to just take this and put it out here. So then eventually you wind up becoming clearer. Because your soul is being put into your mindset because you know your soul. So whatever this is it doesn't have anything to hold on to anymore. It can't hold on to you anymore because you found less validity to it.
Yeah.
So when you came out of the cult, and this might be one of my last questions, when you came out of the cult, I remember I was very, I mean, it definitely took you a little bit of time to actually ground yourself in what had happened. And I think that is when you started really opening your heart again and really grounding yourself and really opening your mind again, because I think it took you a while to trust me after that as well. But when you came out of the cult, that was a completely different response than I had. And even though I threw everything away, I did not talk about the cult and things like that. I didn't want to let people know I was in a cult because I hadn't healed yet. And I was very afraid of people asking me about the cult and like things that I would have to tell them, and things like that. So I just didn't want to talk about it. But you were so open. Like, you were so fucking ready. He was like, bitch, I was in a cult.
It's because I was excited that I realized I put together what had happened, like, very quickly. I'm like, holy fucking shit. Like,
but I think that's interesting, and I wonder if that's a male thing or if that's just because you had a different grounding than I did. Because it's not like I wasn't excited to be out of it, but I was sad. I was very sad. I think that I was more sad than I was excited. I was dumbfounded. I was fucking blank and mute and still inside. I was like, holy shit. But I guess you're right. Because you know what I did afterwards? I cut off my dreadlocks. I did go to get my tattoos removed. These are
dreadlocks
2 or 3 times.
You just try to breeze by that real quick. Yeah. Just cut off my dreadlocks. Oh, and then I did this. Like, wait, no, back it up. Dreadlocks?
You had dreadlocks? Yeah, I did. But, I cut off my dreadlocks.
I know. I've heard the story. I just wanted them to catch that.
And I think that I was excited because I did start reading more books and I did take myself on a trip to the Maldives. I was very excited to be free. I just think that I went about it a very different way than you did. And I guess I want to talk about when you found out. Did you shatter? Did your ground shatter?
No,
Did your world shatter? Did what happened?
I mean, there's a little bit of ups and downs with that, mixed emotions. Primarily speaking, though, I became stronger, and my it factor was really coming out.
So if I could put motions to it, it was pretty much like.
Yeah.
Somebody smashed you, and then you came up into your it factor.
Yeah, there you go. You can put it that way.
Okay.
No, once I realized, it was almost like a strengthening for me. A realization of what I went through and where my mind was. It really empowered me. Wow.
So you definitely went through a turn of empowerment. That's crazy. Because I really went through a term of full-on worthlessness. Like, I was literally the crumpled up trash of the earth. That's what I felt when I got out of the cult.
I did, well, that, I mean, to the point of what we were talking about earlier, you were asking me if I knew it or not, and I did know it, and so I did know that I was suppressing something in me down. So once I realized it, I was like, oh, thank God, I can let it be free now.
So you already knew. Okay. I see what was happening. So it was something that
I came into it authentic.
While you were in it, and you were kind of waiting for that moment to happen. Not waiting, but I think that your insides were waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, we're talking 4 years of this.
Once it did.
Coming in authentic, that whole process we talked about.
Yeah.
Coming into the organization where everybody fucking was lying and being fake. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll lie and be fake with you. And then that just got suppressed more and more and more for more years. And so once I had the realization, like, holy shit, what the fuck have I been doing? It was like getting back to myself, but even stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
It actually is a beautiful thing when I think about it. Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't mean I'm justifying it by being like, oh, I'm happy I went through it. Not in a sick sense, but I am happy on one. You know, I try to look for the positive in things. And if I look at something positive in this, I am happy I went through it because now I can help people because I went through it. I can't like make an opinion that has a lot of credibility if I hadn't gone through it. There's a lot more. There's a lot more
I know what you're saying.
to it when
Yeah.
I'm like, I was in this shit, not as a spectator, but as a fucking player. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot more to it. So I feel like I'm very qualified now to do that, to talk about what my passion is, which is what this channel's about, my YouTube channel's about. And so part of that passion and confidence and conviction comes from the things I experienced. I'm like, I know what's going on. Like, trust me, I've seen it. I went through it. Makes it very easy for me to convey myself.
No, yeah,
and help.
exactly. And I hear that. Like, you know, when people are like, yeah, I joined this new spiritual group and they all just give me long ass hugs. I'm like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. But I think the last question that I want to ask you, because I think I'm on about.
You're about to die, yeah.
Right now, right?
You won't be able to share that if it dies.
I know, I'm going, honey. Last question.
We got to wrap this up.
My last question is, fucking ice cream truck. The fuck out. I can't fucking think now. I had one last question that I wanted to tie up, and it was just kind of like a tie-up question, and it was, so you would agree, first question is, you would agree that you have the it factor?
Yes.
Okay. You would agree that because you didn't know that you had the it factor, you looked for other people to decide your life. Is that true or no?
I wouldn't put it that way. I looked for other people that I thought had the it factor as well.
But to guide you, right?
Sure, yeah.
So the way that I see that sometimes it can be a little rough.
Also, just fitting in fitting in was a huge part for me. And so fitting in with a group full of other it factors that were not really
it factors.
Or they were.
Well, they were, but they were inside out it factors, meaning the it factor was on the inside and all the scum was on the outside.
They were doing what I did, yeah. They just buried that authenticity under the facade. So I seen the it factor beneath that, and I couldn't see the facade until I got a little more involved.
And you would say the reason why you joined this unethical, shallow cult that did not make you feel fulfilled is because you did not know who you truly were yet, and you did not know your own true power yet.
I would say so. Or I got lost at one point. I think I did know, but it became more powerful, like I said,
because
once I got out of it.
Because they pull you and they latch you, and you didn't have a strong enough knowing of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew I had the it factor.
Yeah.
But it got buried, developed. And then it got even stronger once I came through this.
It's almost like your it factor was morphed, which is so funny. And again, I have to fucking cut it off because we have to do a part 2. But I just wanted to, for everybody listening, the facts is that he knew that he had the it factor. It wasn't full, but he knew that he had the it factor, number 1. Number 2, he became not himself because he didn't know who he was, and he was searching for people to tell him guidance.
Yeah.
Okay. And the third part...
misguided mentors. That's what I sought.
And the third part is that when he did get out, he went to the point of, wow, I'm excited, rather than the point of me who went, wow, I'm fucking worthless. So I think that that's important as well. If there are any questions that anybody has, obviously reach out to whoever you feel most comfortable with. I am Kyra Carlin. I am amazing. I'm fucking awesome. And I joined a cult when I was 20, and I stayed in there for like 8 months, and then I got out. I also did a lot of drugs. I never went to rehab, and I just did all that. But you can learn my story. But and then obviously you know Ben. So if you feel like you're more comfortable with learning from Ben, then you can reach out to him too. But the point is, it would be great if you reached out to one of us if you are experiencing anything at all similar to what we're talking about, because this shit takes souls. And it takes your it factor, and you don't want nobody to take that motherfucking it factor. Thank you. Thank you. That's me winking. I'm winking. You don't want nobody to take that shit, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, Kat was saying she's in therapy, but she was requesting a new one. That she thinks me coming out and talking about it is a chosen one purpose. God's timing is perfect in connecting with him, and the day he returned her call, her purpose is helping people and exposing. 100% Kat, I appreciate you and definitely appreciate our relationship. Lorraine was saying great conversation. Thank you both. Appreciate that, Lorraine. Thank you so much. Anybody who is engaging and listening to the conversation, appreciate you very much on Kyra's Instagram and on YouTube. Thanks so much, guys. We'll probably do another part where we bring Kyra back on here and either continue this conversation or talk about a different thing. But
no, we're going to talk about the same thing.
All right. Either way, you're going to be seeing, obviously, me again, and you might see Kyra again. All right, so we're going to let you go before everything dies. I guess her Instagram's going to die. Yeah. My computer's fine.
Wait, baby, let's seal it with a kiss.
Oh, okay. You're so funny. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend.